Well, hello there, everybody. How are we doing today? I hope we're doing fantastic. I'm here with my big, pretty dread spear, who is actually not a dread spear, but is actually a blackguard lady. And I just decided I was going to record some thoughts that I had and share them with you. And here you can see we are on the beautiful island of Ulthuan. But I think we're actually like the Blighted Isle area. So I think we're actually like on the edge of Ulthuan, I think. Maybe. Yeah, because that's Trace down there. Yeah. Trace is one of my favorite places because it has the White Lions. White Lions are my favorite. But I just wanted to talk a little bit today about how one of my favorite tropes in things is when you have villains that realize they're being villainous and they decide to become good. Because my whole plot line for this lady is that she's secretly working for the Order people because she thinks that her own people are evil and she wishes to escape. And then one day she's going to escape and go live in either Ulthuan or the Empire or something. Or maybe she'll just go traveling and be like a mercenary type person. Who knows? But she's kind of tired of this. I mean, because look at all these spikes. Look at these spikes. Look at all this spiky stuff over here. I'll tell you what. If there's one thing that's very been consistent about the Dark Elf line, it's that it's very spike. Oh, look at all those spikes. Lots of spikes. I mean, I think honestly this armor doesn't look too bad. It doesn't have the full-fledged just like jabby bits everywhere, but man, don't you worry. When I get to higher level, it'll get there. And then I'll and then I'll basically be a giant armored porcupine. But yeah, I don't know. I just always really like the idea of like when bad guys get redeemed in the lore or something like that. Like when they stop being bad guys and decide to be good guys. Or, well, I mean, I know that good guys and bad guys is kind of simplistic. I mean, like, there's plenty of stuff to look at the high elves and be like, ugh. There's plenty of reason to look at them and go, okay, maybe they're not the greatest. There's plenty of reason to look at the Empire and be like, oh, well, they're not necessarily the greatest either. They have been known to abuse their citizens more than once or twice. So, I get it. But I still rather like the idea of villains becoming redeemed and stuff like that. Also, look at that. Isn't that a cool shot? Look at the spear. This spear honestly looks like if you were like jabbing it into people, or like this, I guess it's actually glaive. It looks like if you were slashing at people, it looks like there's all kinds of things where this would get like caught on armor and stuff. It's like you just swing down. It's like, oh, wait, clunk. Sorry, I need to yank this. Just give me a second. Just put your foot on their shield. uh, yeah, I don't know. I just always think it's kind of fun when you get to redeem villains and things like that. Let's see. Oh, bird's eye point of view. Bird's eye point of view. I'm just gonna go down to here for now. I've already kind of level past there. And it was weird because I was like searching for the just he's the corpse is shooting me, okay? The undead elven archers are the deadliest of all. But yeah, no, I've maybe leveled up a little bit past this area. I do have to say that it is interesting to me. Um so elves are very arrogant in the Warhammer setting. I like to play them as less arrogant and more lovable. And I like to make this lady lovable. That is my goal. Um, I don't know. I just like playing likable characters. I just like there is a certain appeal to villainy, There's a certain appeal to being like destructive occasionally, just being like, ah, burn it all down. Like sometimes there's like there's reasons to like that sort of thing. Okay, so this one with the that's weird. Keep your eyes. Yeah, these guys are all about their houses and honor and stupid nonsense. Look at these tents. Why do the tents need this? Why do they need this sharp ass thing on them? What is that for? I mean, I guess it would prevent a horse from charging directly into it, I suppose. But still, I mean, it's just like, man, it just looks kind of silly, you know? Take all of these quests. Ooh. But yeah, some of their armor gets still be looking a little ridiculous. Well, thank you. But oh man, it turns out that she's not actually a good person. The only reason that she wanted to leave the Dark Elves was because she was tired of her chairs constantly stabbing her in the back by accident. But yeah, I tend to hold the belief that you can kind of redeem almost anybody. I think there are some cases in lore which would be a little bit hard. Like, I think it would be kind of hard to redeem like a Chaos Warlord or like a Skaven. Like, Skaven are written in such a way where it seems like it would be really hard to redeem them. Dark out this way. Where is weapon rack poisoned? Oh, I just have to poison a weapon rack. Okay. I'll rub some juice on a weapon rack here shortly. Just gotta find the weapon rack that requires... Oh. Okay, cool. I have poisoned the weapon rack. Okay, I need to look at my quests here. Yeah, whatever. I'll look at them later. But yeah. Um, and I feel like Dark Elves could actually be pretty easily redeemed if you took them away from their society and showed them that they could care about things and people won't immediately stab them in the back and stuff like that. And I've always really liked the idea of having like like forbidden romances, for instance, are fun to do that with. Like maybe this lady happens to meet somebody from the Empire that she's really fond of, and then she decides, oh hey, yeah, he's gonna die or she's gonna die like much younger than me, but screw it. I love her anyway, and even though this is a short while, I'll still love her or love him, whatever. And or maybe like a dwarf, like maybe an elf and a dwarf happen to get together because they just happen to really like each other, and you know their societies be damned, they've found something worth fighting for. I always like stories like that. Now, sometimes it's if the characters aren't written well, that's just terrible because then you're just like, oh, this kind of just sounds like somebody's fan fiction. This kind of just sounds like if it was a fetish bait, you know. But I mean, I think that can be fun. Wait, weapon rack poisoned. Oh, I have to do more with that. I thought I just had to like touch it. I guess I had to touch it and then go into my inventory and then go to quest items. Maybe? Oh no, I think I had to I had to get the man's vein first. I totally read my quests. What are you talking about? I totally didn't just run up to this dude and be like, "Hey, you have a job?" And then he starts to tell me about the job. I'm like, "Okay, cool, I got it." Like, and like halfway through the description, I just like run away or anything like that. I wouldn't ever do that. Why would you suggest that I would do that? What are you, some kind of silly Billy? But yeah, and it's not like like good and bad is reserved specifically for factions and like Warhammer. There's a lot of gray in there, but I do like to be a good person and try to be the one that is like you know fighting for the right reasons, like fighting for faith, and maybe trying to defend people of the Empire, defending people of Araby or wherever, you know. Whereas like, yeah, maybe there's some gray in there because the Empire doesn't always do the right thing and often does the wrong thing, but ultimately we're trying to defend people and protect people and bring them forth. That is just, generally speaking, my favorite way to approach these things. Um, and to try and make characters that are doing the right thing. And what's funny is I've often played games like role playing games where like I'd play the good character and it's just like everybody else is just playing, like a bad guy, or well, maybe not necessarily. They're not necessarily playing someone of evil alignment, but they're playing someone whose like morals are very questionable. Or like I've played a decent number of games with people where it's like they'll claim to be good, like lawful good or whatever, but then like you watch them play and you're like, you kind of seem like you're more like chaotic neutral, but like pretend to be lawful. It's interesting. I just try to make characters that are trying to make the world a better place in general if I can, or at least make some people around them's lives better, because it's not always easy to make the world as a whole a better place. Sometimes you get into this thing where uh you have a very limited amount of influence and you have to get you have to you're better off just like helping people around you type deal. And sometimes that's good too, like to be a good person you don't have to be like running out to some huge quest, like to save the world, because the thing about saving the world is that people are always finding ways to uh put themselves in the harm's way and finding ways to ruin things that you built. I mean, there's this interesting pattern throughout history where basically like I notice this especially with like Christian monks and Christian monk orders, where they do this thing where they will have new orders that are all about like trying to really keep to the word of God as they see it and really keep to like their holy vows and things like that. And they really want to perfect themselves and get better at what they're doing. But over time, those orders will become corrupted because more, like rich noble types will get into those orders, and then they'll. What does that say? Oh, I still need to get the man bane. But they'll have these new guys come in, like these new guys almost kind of treat the holy order like almost like a frat house type deal, and they'll kind of bring it back to what it used to be. I'll take on. I have learned the apothecary skill. Let's see, is there a butcher? But there was a. There is a butcher. I'll do those quests later. Let's go that way. And they'll kind of ruin it and everybody will just become like a party animal again, but you always see this pattern where they will come back later and a new order will come and make the holy orders again, and then the new group will come in and they'll corrupt it, kind of. Well, maybe corrupt is a strong word, but like they'll change it around, but ultimately good keeps popping back up, and like people trying to live like the holy life will keep popping back up and things like that. And I think that's very inspiring in a way, because like like yeah, sure, things don't necessarily last the way they were originally, but you'll often find that they can come back in interesting ways and really come from places that you wouldn't necessarily. Ooh, that's a lot of junk from this one guy. Why was he carrying all that? But they'll come back in interesting ways. And I think that even in like society like the Dark Elves or something like that, you can have people come out and realize, hey, this isn't like the greatest for me. And wait, oh, it didn't pick it up. Am I overflowing? Oh, I should probably just sell some of this stuff. I have a lot of stuff on me, honestly. I forgot to clear out my inventory. But there's always a chance for it to come back, and I think that even in like Dark Elf Society, you can have characters that become good, or like find something worth fighting for, or find something that is worth like pushing past the negativity in their society and things like that. And I mean, I think you can often find this like, the United States had a lot of racism at one point, and it still has a lot of racism, but like during like the Martin Luther King Jr. rallies and things like that, you can see that there are some white people who are like coming out to make a stand against racism and stuff like that, even at the height of like Jim Crow and things like that. So you know, there's often there's often some really good things going on for folks, and I think that's really worth taking notice of, and really worth uh, putting in your mind and remembering that for like the next time you are like caught up in a lot of negativity, just remember that there's always a chance to do good, and there's always a chance to redeem not just yourself but others, and there's always a chance to that's a pretty good shield, but I'm doing a great weapon right now. uh, there's always a chance to come back and like really um oh wow, didn't realize I had gotten such nice boots. Cool. To really like overcome the negativity and things like that. And I feel like I'm a pretty good example of that. I wasn't always, the best person, and I often had a lot of trouble in my past um making the right decisions and doing the right things for myself and, people around me, stuff like that. But the older let's see here. Okay. The older I got and the more I chose to be good, the easier it got to just like to just avoid doing a lot of that kind of stuff. I'm gonna keep a couple of these things for chosen and send it to. I have a chosen character. So oh, didn't see that. I have a chosen character. I also have a marauder. It's not doing very much with them right this moment. Wait, what did that say? Worn thigh vines. Okay, wait. I think those are. Yeah, these are better. So awesome. I'm considering making a witch elf character. The only problem is that they're I don't necessarily like how naked they are. I kind of prefer my I prefer my armor like this. I prefer to look like I'm armored and not just running around with my butt hanging out. But that's just me. Yeah, I don't know. I think that even with dark groups, there is the possibility for goodness to rise within them, and I think even within good groups, there is also the possibility for them to become evil and for them to do things that are not appropriate. So you have to be careful, and I think that you should always remember that there's always a chance to redeem yourself and to push forward and to become better than you were. I don't know. That's just a thought, and I just kind of felt like sharing that with you guys. And I felt like sharing it with you while I was playing the Dark Elf Lady that I am intending to have redeemed and be goodish person with spiky bits. Because you know what, even if she's a good person, she's still gonna have a lot of spiky bits. So yeah, that's what it is. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day, and I hope that um you all make good choices, and I hope that you all get hugs today. Okay, bye bye.